A lot of UK theme parks have been making some very strange decisions lately, with ride removals and potential refurbishments, leading us to wonder what the hell is going on. Some funny rumours and realisations have been made that definitely shows people are way too bored. Now it's close season, and a new roller coaster has been unveiled in a country in Asia, and it looks like potentially the worst roller coaster ever built. Yes, as always, there's a lot going on because all that and even more has happened this past week in theme parks. Yes, we are back once again with this series. I would say it's consistent again, but it really isn't because I haven't done one this month and it's been longer than a week. I need to get a grip. But with that being said, we're in the final month of the year, so that means the final episodes of this past week in theme parks for 2024. But in the meantime, if you do go on to enjoy this video, then stay tuned by subscribing to the channel. We're on the run to 100,000 subscribers and we're literally under 3,000 off now, so any support towards that goal would be greatly appreciated. So then, this past week in theme parks, what has happened? I'm glad it's called this past week and not this week, because otherwise I'm releasing this on a Monday. So basically, it will look like nothing has happened this week. But I can assure you, as I said in the intro, this past week has been insane. And we'll start it off with some smaller things. First of all, over in Disney's Animal Kingdom. Yes, we're going abroad once again, overseas to the United America of States. A famous ride there called Dinosaur was supposed to be closing this year, I think, and it's now been delayed till 2026. So when I go to Florida next year, I will be able to go on that again. I say again because I have actually been on it, I just don't remember it that well. So everyone that raves about it, I don't remember why, because I can't remember what I just said. And on the topic of the Disneyland/Orlando area, a news channel in America discovered something absolutely insane that no one could have seen with their own eyes. If we're talking in the correct terms of the parks, Disneyland is the one over in LA, and Disney World is the one over in Orlando. And this news channel realised that you can see LA, which is where Disneyland is in LA, California, in the name Disneyland, and you can also see ORL, which is Orlando, in the name Disney World. Wow! Honestly, I can't believe it. I don't know why they haven't even spoken about the fact in Disneyland Paris, you can see Paris. It's incredible. Now, I know over there they don't have a closed season, but it feels like one of those things that we would talk about here in this country because we're so bored. And we'd be like, oh my god, Alton Towers has the word Alton in it. It might be near the village of Thorpe. But in all seriousness, I don't know whether the ORL and LA thing is an actual thing or not, or whether that's just coincidence. But yeah, fair play if it is true. And talking of making rumours because you're so bored in the closed season, Rides recently released a video showcasing some of their products they've been working on, especially this year. So I think the only two that did release were Hyperia and Voltron. Is that all they worked on? I thought they did way more. But it was pretty much a video showcasing like off-ride footage and a little bit of, I don't know, it's just footage of the rides. Interesting stuff, guys. But no, they were quite cool videos. Although the UK enthusiasts found it and managed to make a rumour off of one camera angle that was used in the video. There was one that was a POV facing backwards. There was a shot of it climbing up the lift hill backwards, which gave a nice view, I guess, and also that insane roll on the ride. I can't imagine that outer bank barrel rolling down backwards. It just looks insane. I can't imagine that actual feeling. But some people want to imagine that feeling and feel like we might be able to soon, because a small rumour started circulating that the fact they showed us backwards shots of the ride POV, we might get a Brave It Backwards option on Hyperia. God, I love the enthusiast community. That feels like one of those Thorpe Park RMC things where you just see RMC scratched into a tree and think, that might be happening, you know. But no, I do love a bit of speculation. It's quite funny, so I actually kind of like the fact people are saying about it. But I'm afraid I don't think that will happen anytime soon. Although Thorpe Park, please feel free to prove me wrong. Something that is happening soon, and by the time this video has gone out, I think it might have already happened, is, sticking with Thorpe Park, an auction to do with some old rides and sort of attractions at the park and their signage, ride hardware, and even boats from one of them. And on there you've got like X-ride signage, so old rides there, old Scare Maze signage as well, such as the Big Top, and of course Loggers Leap was supposed to have an auction back in like 2017. So technically this auction has been 7 years in the making, but good things come to those who wait, because you can actually buy Loggers Leap boats Like the actual full-on Loggers Leap boats. And as much as it says £600 starting price, that will go up monumentally. And I'm excited to just watch. I just know the prices of these things are going to spike up, especially Big Banana from Mr. Monkey's Banana Ride. And yeah, I know Alton Towers have done auctions in the past, obviously Chessington have done a few, and now Thorpe are doing one for loads of their old rides as well. I just think it's a nice thing to do, because other than just leaving it to scrap, what else are they going to do with those pieces? They know a lot of people will want to buy them for a lot of money and then take very good care of them. So it's just a sort of no-brainer, really. You never know. Now they've done one auction, they might move on and close a major ride in the future and auction off the whole thing. I'll buy every single track piece and rebuild it in my garden. Unless it's stealth, then I might struggle with that one. But as much as I may struggle to build a roller coaster in my garden, I know there's an actual manufacturer out there that looks like they struggled a lot building a new roller coaster, and they've built it and it looks absolutely horrendous. A manufacturer called Pax Coasters has created a brand new roller coaster for the first time in a decade. And it really shows why they haven't built one in so long. It's appeared at Balalike Park in Bishkek. I'm not even going to try. Kyrgyzstan. I'm so sorry. And I don't really know what on earth it is. The person that originally tweeted this did explain it as some sort of Zack Spin and Boomerang baby, and it's just a weird coaster in general. But yeah, the photos aren't even that good quality, and it just looks awful. If a POV releases of this thing, I will definitely be watching it in an episode of This Past Week in Theme Parks. Mark my word. But yeah, with how jank it looks, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets removed at some point in the future. But talking of removing rides, the UK seems to be very fond of removing a lot of rides recently, and it's not just at one park either. Of course, if you haven't seen, in my previous video I did speak about Alton Towers and the fact they're removing 3 different rides from the park next year. We're getting 1 and then they're removing 3, so we're stepping 1 forwards and then stepping all the way back. But those are obviously Blade, Flavio's, and also the Dungeons, which the Dungeons doesn't really matter, I don't think. Flavio's at least was a temporary ride, and the Blade is probably the saddest one, but even still, I probably rode it about -3 times this year. So I get why some people are sad by that one, but I'm not overly bothered. I'm just bothered about the capacity. And you can hear more about my opinion on that in the top right. Watch it once this video's done, because there's more rides that are getting removed across the country, and it's not good. Starting with Paultons Park, we actually have confirmation of a removal of a ride at the park. Now, it's not a major ride per se, but considering the park doesn't really have many water rides, I guess it is a bit major. I don't even know what it was called, but that old log flume that used to sit there, and it looked like one of those funfair log flumes that used to have with like the 2 drops and the drop that does the ooh, ooh. And it was like bright yellow and like a blue colour. That's now gone, and they've actually removed it from the park. And I actually did that log flume a handful of times, and it was quite fun. So to lose a water ride at that park when they don't have many is kind of sad. But at the same time, you know Paultons Park are going to pull out something huge with that area, so I'm not surprised they've removed it, to be honest. And the same could be said, if not worse, for a ride at Legoland Windsor. Now, if you have been keeping up with Legoland Windsor news lately, that's not a series of mine, I mean that in general, then you'll know that when they built Minifigure Speedway over the past year or so, they actually closed a ride called the Sky Ride. Sky Rider? Not the Sky Ride at Alton Towers, don't get confused. And they closed it whilst they were using that sort of area for maintenance and building this brand new, well, these brand new coasters. And that was a fan favourite, so to see that closed was a bit sad for people. Well, it reopened for the new year with Minifigure Speedway, so it was lovely to see it back. And now it's listed on the maintenance page of the website of Legoland Windsor as permanently closed. So we won't be seeing that open ever again. Goodbye to another ride. Play the sad music. Again, this is another ride that I never really went on, so I don't really care. But I do know that it had a long queue every single time I went, which is probably the reason I didn't go on it very much. But whenever I did go on it, the views were great, and you know, you would look off and see Miniland and Minifigure Speedway, especially in its final year, and all the families would love that ride, and you know, it was a fan favourite. I know it was just a sort of thing where you just sort of went around a track in the sky. That was about it. But people did really enjoy it, so it is really sad to see it go, especially, again, with no forewarning. I always think now, It can never be as bad as that bloody green and blue 400-foot roller coaster they closed without telling anyone. I'm still fuming. Six Flags, I am not a fan of you for that one, my friends. Be sure to leave your thoughts on all of this in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see about the Blade and like those 3 rides that are getting removed from towers, my full opinion and ideas for the future, click here. My hands being blocked by the microphone. The video